Are you ready to practice your English conversation skills?
Listen, learn, and speak with us today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk Maya. I'm Maya.
And I'm Carlos. We're so glad you're here with us today.
You know, Carlos, I was thinking about something that happens to me all the time, even as a fluent English speaker.
What's that?
Those moments when someone says something and my brain just stops working. Like the words go in my ears, but nothing makes sense.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. And for English learners, this happens even more often. You're listening carefully, concentrating hard, and then suddenly, blank.
Exactly. And here's what's interesting. Many learners feel so embarrassed in these moments that they just smile and nod, pretending they understood.
Which is actually the worst thing you can do because then the conversation continues and you're completely lost.
Right. So today we're going to talk about a super important communication skill, what to do when you don't understand something in English.
We'll cover real-life situations, useful phrases, practical strategies, and most importantly, we'll help you feel confident about asking questions.
Because asking questions isn't a weakness, it's actually a strength.
Absolutely. Native speakers ask for clarification all the time. It's completely normal.
So whether you're ordering coffee, having a conversation with friends, sitting in a meeting at work, or talking to your neighbor, we've got you covered.
Let's start with why this is such a common problem, even for advanced learners.
So, Carlos, why do you think misunderstanding happens so often in English conversations?
Well, there are actually several reasons. First, there's speed. Native speakers often talk much faster than the careful, slow English you might hear in a classroom or a language app.
That's so true. In real life, people might say, "Want to grab coffee?" instead of, "Would you like to get some coffee?"
Exactly. And words blend together. Did you eat becomes did you eat. These connected sounds are hard for learners to catch.
Then there's vocabulary. Even if you know thousands of English words, there's always going to be a word you haven't learned yet, or slang you've never heard of.
Like if someone says, I'm beat, meaning I'm tired, or that's sketchy, meaning that seems suspicious.
Another big reason is accent and pronunciation. English is spoken differently in different places. British English, American English, Australian English, Indian English, and so on.
I remember when I first went to Ireland, I could barely understand anyone for the first week, and English is my second language, so I thought I was pretty good at it.
See, even people who speak English well can struggle with different accents. So if you're learning English and you don't understand someone, it's not because you're bad at English.
It might be because they're speaking too fast, using unfamiliar words, or speaking with an accent you're not used to.
There's also background noise. If you're in a restaurant, on the street, or in a crowded place, it's harder to hear clearly.
And sometimes people don't articulate clearly. They mumble, or they speak while looking away, or they assume you know something you don't.
Context matters too. If you don't understand the situation or the topic, it's harder to follow what people are saying.
For example, if your coworkers are talking about a project you weren't involved in, their conversation might sound like gibberish even if they're using simple words.
So, misunderstanding is normal. It happens to everyone. The question is, what do you do about it?
And that's what we're going to explore now, how to handle these moments with confidence and clarity.
Let's talk about what not to do first. Carlos, what's the most common mistake learners make when they don't understand something?
The biggest mistake is pretending you understood when you didn't.
Oh, yes, the smile and nod strategy.
Exactly. You're in a conversation, someone says something, you don't catch it, so you just smile and say, uh-huh, or yeah.
And why is that a problem?
Because the conversation continues and now you're completely lost. And plus, if it was an important question or instruction, you might agree to something you don't actually want to do.
Right. I had a friend who did this at work. Her manager asked her to do something she didn't understand but said sure, and then she did the completely wrong task.
Oh no.
Yeah, it caused problems. If she had just asked for clarification at the beginning, it would have saved everyone time and stress.
Another mistake is apologizing too much. Some learners say, I'm sorry, my English is bad, I'm really sorry, over and over.
One sorry is enough, or sometimes you don't need to apologize at all. Asking for clarification is normal. You're not doing anything wrong.
Right. Instead of saying, I'm so sorry, my English is terrible, you can simply say, could you repeat that, please?
Much better. Another mistake is giving up on the conversation entirely.
What do you mean?
Some people get frustrated or embarrassed, so they just stop trying. They say, never mind, or change the subject.
But then they don't get the information they needed and they miss an opportunity to learn.
Exactly. So what's the right approach?
The right approach is to ask clear, simple questions that help you understand.
No long apologies, no pretending, no giving up. Just honest, direct communication.
Let's look at some specific phrases you can use.
Okay, let's start with the most basic situation. Someone said something and you just didn't catch it. What can you say?
The simplest phrase is sorry or pardon with a rising intonation, like a question.
That's super short and natural. Native speakers use this all the time.
You can also say, sorry, what? Or, sorry, what did you say?
Another common one is, can you say that again?
Or, could you repeat that, please? This is slightly more formal, good for professional situations.
I didn't catch that is also very natural.
Yes, sorry, I didn't catch that. Or, I didn't quite catch what you said.
One more time, please, is short and friendly.
And if you need them to repeat just part of what they said, you can say, sorry, could you repeat the last part? Or what was that again about the meeting time?
Good point. You don't always need them to repeat everything, just the part you missed.
Here's an example conversation. Maya, imagine you're telling me about your weekend and I missed something.
Okay, so this weekend I went to that new Vietnamese restaurant on Maple Street. You know, the one next to the bookstore that just opened last month?
Sorry, which street was that?
Maple Street.
Got it, thanks.
See how natural that was? Carlos didn't understand one detail, so he asked specifically about that.
And I didn't say, sorry, I'm so bad at listening, or anything like that. I just asked a simple question.
Exactly. That's the way to do it.
Now, sometimes the problem isn't that you didn't hear the words, it's that the person is speaking too fast for you to process.
Right. Your ears heard the sounds, but your brain needs more time to understand the meaning.
In this case, asking them to repeat won't necessarily help. You need them to slow down.
So you can say, could you speak more slowly, please?
Or, can you slow down a little? This is very friendly and natural.
I need more time to understand is also good. It's honest and clear.
You can even say, my English is good, but I need you to speak a bit slower. This tells them it's not about your ability, it's about processing speed.
That's a great phrase because it's confident. You're not apologizing for your English, you're just asking for what you need.
Here's something interesting. Many people, when you say what or sorry, they just repeat the same thing at the same speed or even louder.
Yes, but speaking louder doesn't help if the problem is speed.
So it's important to be specific. Say, could you say that more slowly, not just could you repeat that?
Let me give an example. Carlos, imagine you're giving me directions.
Okay, so you're going to take the subway to Central Station, then transfer to the blue line heading north, get off at Baker Street, exit on the west side, and walk 3 blocks until you see a tall glass building.
Whoa, okay, that was a lot. Can you speak more slowly, please?
Sure. Take the subway to Central Station, then transfer to the blue line heading north.
Perfect. Thank you. Now I can follow you.
See, the information was the same, but the speed made it easier to process.
And I didn't feel bad asking him to slow down. It's a normal request.
Now let's talk about what to do when you don't understand a specific word or phrase.
This happens all the time. Someone uses a word you've never heard before or uses a common word in an unfamiliar way.
The simplest question is, what does blank mean?
For example, what does feasible mean? Or what does hectic mean?
You can also say, what do you mean by blank? This is good when the word has multiple meanings.
Like if someone says, that's cool, do they mean the temperature is cold or do they mean it's interesting?
Right. So you might ask, what do you mean by cool?
Another useful phrase is, I'm not familiar with that word.
Or, that word is new to me. These are polite ways to ask for explanation.
You can also ask for an example. Can you give me an example? Or can you use it in a sentence?
Examples are incredibly helpful because they show you how the word is used in context.
Let's practice. Carlos, use a word I might not know and I'll ask about it.
Okay. We need to make sure the project is feasible before we commit to it.
Sorry, what does feasible mean?
It means possible or realistic, something that can actually be done.
Oh, got it. Can you give me an example?
Sure. It's not feasible to drive to the beach and back in 1 hour because it's too far away.
Ah, perfect. Now I understand. So it's about whether something is realistic or not.
Exactly.
See how helpful that was? I asked for the meaning, then asked for an example, and now I really understand the word.
And you can use this strategy with any word, even slang or idioms.
Right. If someone says, I'm swamped with work, you can ask, what does swamped mean?
And they'll explain it means very busy or overwhelmed with too much work.
Okay, now let's flip the situation. What if you want to say something, but you don't know the English word?
This is such a common problem. You have the idea in your head, you might even know the word in your native language, but you don't know it in English.
The good news is you don't need to know every single word to communicate effectively.
Right, you can describe what you mean instead.
For example, if you don't know the word scissors, you can say the tool for cutting paper.
Or if you don't know refrigerator, you can say the big machine in the kitchen that keeps food cold.
These descriptions are clear enough that people will understand you, and often they'll tell you the actual word.
Yes, so you'll learn the word in the process.
You can use this formula. It's a category that function,
Like it's a vehicle that carries many people. That's a bus.
or it's a tool that makes holes in wood. That's a drill.
It's a fruit that's yellow and monkeys like it. That's a banana.
You can also use comparison. It's like a similar thing, but difference.
For example, it's like a bike but with a motor. That's a motorcycle.
Or it's like tea, but made from coffee beans. That's coffee.
Another strategy is to use general category words like thing, stuff, or place.
That thing you use to open bottles, or the place where you buy medicine.
And you can ask directly, what's the word for, and then describe it.
Let's practice this. Carlos, try to describe something without using the word.
Okay. Maya, what's the word for the person who cuts your hair?
A hairdresser or a barber.
Yes. See how easy that is?
Now I'll try. What's the word for the thing on your wrist that tells you the time?
A watch.
Exactly.
These descriptions don't need to be perfect. They just need to be clear enough for the other person to guess what you mean.
And honestly, native speakers do this all the time when they forget words too.
Absolutely. You know, that thing, the thing you used to, what's it called?
We've all been there.
Now let's talk about a really important strategy called checking understanding.
This is when you repeat back what you think you heard to make sure you got it right.
It's like a confirmation. You're not sure you understood correctly, so you check.
You can start with phrases like so, or so you mean, or just to confirm,
So we're meeting at 6 p.m., right?
or so you want me to send the email to John.
Just to confirm, the deadline is Friday.
This is super useful for important information like times, dates, names, addresses, instructions.
Because if you misunderstand these details, it can cause real problems.
Right. Better to check now than to show up at the wrong time or wrong place.
You can also use repeating the information in your own words to show you understood the concept, not just the exact words.
For example, if someone says, we need to prioritize the Johnson account, you might say, so we should work on the Johnson project first?
Yes, you used different words, work on instead of prioritize, and project instead of account, but the meaning is the same.
And if you got it wrong, the other person will correct you.
Exactly. They might say, actually, not first, but it's definitely important this week.
Then you've learned something and avoided a misunderstanding.
Let's practice. Maya, give me some instructions and I'll check my understanding.
Okay, Carlos, can you make copies of this document, 3-hole punch them, and put them in the blue binder on my desk?
So you want me to make copies, punch holes on the left side, and put them in the blue binder, the one that's on your desk.
Perfect. Yes, exactly.
Great. See how that works? I repeated the instructions in slightly different words to confirm I understood.
And if you had misunderstood something, I would have corrected you right away.
This technique prevents so many problems, especially at work or in school.
Let's go through some real-life situations now, starting with one that almost everyone experiences, ordering food.
Yes, this can be tricky because servers often speak quickly and there might be background noise in a restaurant or cafe.
Plus, they might use specific terms or ask questions you're not expecting.
Like for here or to go, which means will you eat here or take it away?
Or room for cream when you order coffee, which means do you want space in the cup for cream?
These questions are so fast and casual that they can confuse learners.
So, what should you do if you don't understand?
Just ask, say, sorry, what was that? Or what does that mean?
Servers hear these questions all day. They won't be surprised or annoyed.
Let's roleplay this. I'll be the server, you be the customer.
Okay.
Hi, welcome. What can I get for you today?
I'd like a latte, please.
Sure. What size? Small, medium, or large?
Medium, please.
For here or to go?
Sorry, what does that mean?
Oh, are you staying to drink it here or taking it with you?
Oh, for here, please.
Perfect. That'll be $4.50.
See? I didn't understand the question, so I asked, and the server explained it clearly.
No problem at all. That's completely normal.
Another common situation is when you're looking at a menu and don't understand an item.
You can ask, what is blank? Or can you describe this dish?
Servers are usually happy to explain menu items. That's part of their job.
You can also ask, is this spicy? Or does this have meat? Or what comes with it?
These questions help you order exactly what you want.
Another common situation where a misunderstanding happens is when someone gives you directions.
Oh, yes. Directions can be so confusing because there are lots of specific verbs in landmarks.
Like, turn left at the second traffic light, then go straight for 2 blocks, then turn right after the gas station.
If you miss even one small word, you could end up completely lost.
So it's really important to ask for clarification if you're not sure.
You can ask them to repeat part of it. Sorry, where do I turn left?
Or how many blocks did you say?
You can also repeat it back to check. So, I turn left at the traffic light, then go straight.
And if it's really complicated, you can ask, can you write it down or can you show me on my phone?
That's a great idea. People are usually willing to help.
Let's practice. Maya, ask me for directions to the post office.
Excuse me, how do I get to the post office from here?
Sure, you go down the street for about 3 blocks, then you'll see a big park on your right. Turn left there and the post office is on the corner.
Sorry, how many blocks?
3 blocks.
Okay, and I turn left at the park.
Yes, the park will be on your right side and you turn left at that intersection.
Got it. So 3 blocks, turn left at the park, and it's on the corner. Thank you.
You're welcome.
See how I asked for clarification on the number of blocks and then confirmed the whole route?
Yes, that's perfect. Now you're much less likely to get lost.
Let's talk about work and school situations now. These can feel more serious because instructions really matter.
Right. At work, if you misunderstand a task, it can affect your performance or cause problems for your team.
And at school, if you misunderstand an assignment, you might do it wrong and lose points.
So it's especially important to ask questions in these situations.
The good news is that teachers and managers expect questions. They want you to understand.
Exactly. They prefer questions over mistakes.
If your teacher gives instructions and you're not sure, you can ask, could you explain that again? Or, I'm not sure I understand the second part.
You can also ask about specific details, like when is this due, or how long should this be, or do we work alone or in groups?
At work, if your boss gives you a task, you can confirm by repeating it. So, you want me to finish the report and email it to the client by Friday.
And if there are multiple steps, you can check the order. Just to confirm, first I call the supplier, then I check inventory, then I update the spreadsheet.
Yes, this shows you're organized and you care about doing it correctly.
Let's role play a work situation. I'll be your manager.
Okay.
Maya, I need you to prepare the quarterly sales report. Include all regional data, compare it to last quarter, and highlight any significant changes. I need it by Thursday for the board meeting.
Okay, let me make sure I understand. You want the sales report with regional data compared to last quarter, and I should highlight important changes.
Yes, exactly.
And you need it by Thursday. Is there a specific time?
By noon would be great.
Perfect. By noon on Thursday. And just to confirm, when you say regional data, you mean all 5 regions.
Yes, all 5.
Got it. Thank you. I'll have it ready.
See how Maya confirmed all the important details? That's professional communication.
And now I know exactly what to do so I won't make mistakes.
Let's talk about something important: cultural differences in asking questions.
Yes, this is really interesting. In some cultures, asking lots of questions is seen as rude or as showing disrespect.
In some places, students are taught not to question teachers, or employees are taught not to question bosses.
But in English-speaking cultures, especially in places like the United States, Canada, UK, and Australia, asking questions is completely normal and expected.
In fact, not asking questions when you're confused can seem strange.
People might think you understood when you didn't, and then they'll be confused later when you do something wrong.
So if you come from a culture where asking questions feels uncomfortable, you need to adjust your mindset.
In English-speaking workplaces and schools, asking questions shows that you're engaged, you care, and you want to do things correctly.
It's seen as a sign of intelligence and professionalism, not weakness.
Teachers especially appreciate questions because it shows students are thinking critically.
And managers appreciate questions because it prevents costly mistakes.
So if you feel shy about asking questions because of your cultural background, remember that in this context, questions are valued.
You're not being rude, you're being responsible.
Another cultural point, in English-speaking cultures, it's normal to have a direct, straightforward communication style.
So instead of hinting or being vague, you can just say directly, "I don't understand," or "Can you explain that?"
This is appreciated. People prefer clarity over politeness that creates confusion.
Of course, you should still be polite, say please and thank you, but you don't need to be indirect.
Right. You don't need to say, "I'm terribly sorry to bother you. I know you're very busy, but if you have a moment, perhaps you could possibly explain."
That's too much. Just say, "Could you explain that, please?"
Simple and direct is best.
Now, let's talk about the emotional side of not understanding things.
This is so important because the biggest barrier isn't usually language, it's confidence.
Exactly. Many learners feel embarrassed or ashamed when they don't understand.
They think it means they're stupid or their English is terrible.
But that's not true. Misunderstanding happens for so many reasons that have nothing to do with intelligence or ability.
Like we said before, speed, accent, background noise, unfamiliar vocabulary, lack of context.
Even native speakers don't understand everything all the time.
Right. I didn't understand half of what people said when I visited Scotland because the accent was so different.
And that has nothing to do with language ability. It's just unfamiliarity.
So, the first thing is to change your mindset. Don't think, "I'm bad at English." Think, "I need more information."
That's a huge shift.
Another emotional problem is fear of judgment. People worry that others will think they're slow or incompetent.
But in reality, most people don't judge you for asking questions.
In fact, they often respect you more for having the courage to ask.
It shows confidence and self-awareness.
Compare these two people. Person A doesn't understand something, asks a question, gets clarification, and does the task correctly. Person B doesn't understand, doesn't ask, and does the task wrong.
Who looks better? Obviously, person A.
Exactly. Asking questions prevents bigger problems later.
Another tip is to celebrate small wins.
What do you mean?
Every time you successfully ask for clarification and get the information you need, that's a victory.
Oh, I love that.
The first time you say, "Could you repeat that?" and the person repeats it without any problem, that's success.
And each time you do it, it gets a little easier. Eventually, it becomes a habit instead of something scary.
You also need to be patient with yourself. Language learning takes time.
Your comprehension improves gradually. You won't understand everything immediately, and that's okay.
Comparing yourself to native speakers isn't fair. They've had their whole lives to learn English.
Exactly. You're doing great just by trying and improving every day.
Let's share some practical strategies that can help in the moment when you don't understand something.
First, buy yourself time. If someone asks you a question and you need a moment to think, you can say, "Let me think," or "Give me a second."
Or just a moment. This gives your brain time to process without awkward silence.
Second, focus on key words. You don't need to understand every single word.
If someone says tomorrow morning at 9, we're having a team meeting in conference room B to discuss the new project timeline, the keywords are tomorrow morning, 9, team meeting, conference room B, project timeline.
You can catch those and understand the basic message even if you missed some small words.
Third, use context clues. The situation often tells you a lot about what's being said.
If you're at a bakery and someone asks you a question, it's probably about what you want to buy or how you want to pay. If you're at the doctor and they ask you something, it's probably about your symptoms or medical history.
Context helps you make educated guesses.
Fourth, pay attention to body language and gestures.
Communication is more than words. People point, they gesture, they make facial expressions.
If someone points at a door while talking, they're probably talking about going somewhere or someone who left.
These nonverbal cues help you understand the message.
Fifth, don't be afraid to ask someone to write something down.
Especially for names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, these are easier to understand written.
You can say, "Could you write that down for me?" or "Can you text me that information?"
Most people don't mind at all.
Sixth, use technology to help. If someone uses a word you don't know, you can look it up on your phone later.
Or you can ask them to spell it so you can look it up.
And seventh, practice these phrases at home before you need them.
Yes. If you practice saying, "Could you repeat that?" or "What does that mean?" out loud, it'll be easier to say them in real situations.
You can even practice with a friend or language partner.
Let's do some longer conversation examples so listeners can hear how all these strategies work together in real life.
Good idea. First scenario, two friends making weekend plans.
I'll start. Hey Maya, want to hang out this weekend? I was thinking we could check out that new farmer's market on Saturday morning, grab some brunch, and then maybe hit up the art museum if you're into it.
Okay, wait, slow down. First, what does hang out mean?
Oh, it just means spend time together casually.
Got it. And you said farmer's market. What time on Saturday?
I was thinking around 10 a.m. Is that too early?
No, that's fine. And what's hit up?
Hit up just means visit or go to. So hit up the art museum means go to the art museum.
Okay, makes sense. So to confirm, Saturday morning at 10, we meet at the farmer's market, have brunch, and then go to the art museum.
Exactly. Sound good?
Sounds great.
See how Maya asked about the slang terms hang out and hit up and then confirmed the plan?
And you didn't mind explaining it all.
Not at all. That's what friends do.
Okay, next scenario. This time, a workplace situation. Carlos, you be the manager giving instructions.
All right. Maya, I need you to handle something for me. The quarterly inventory report needs to be reconciled with the actual stock numbers, and then you'll need to forward the discrepancy report to accounting before EOD Friday. Can you handle that?
Okay. Let me make sure I understand. First, what does reconcile mean?
It means compare two things and make sure they match. So compare the inventory report with the actual stock.
Okay, got it. And discrepancy report? What's that?
That's a report showing any differences or mistakes. So if the numbers don't match, you note what's different.
I see. And EOD?
End of day. So before the workday ends on Friday.
Okay. So just to confirm, I compare the inventory report with the actual stock, create a report showing any differences, and send it to accounting by the end of Friday.
Perfect. You've got it.
Great. I'll get started on that.
This is excellent because Maya asked about specific terminology she didn't know, then confirmed the whole task.
And now I know exactly what to do.
Let's create a quick reference guide of the most useful phrases we've discussed today.
Great idea. For asking for repetition, you can say, sorry? Pardon? Can you say that again? Could you repeat that? I didn't catch that. One more time, please.
For asking someone to slow down, you can say, could you speak more slowly? Can you slow down a little? I need more time to understand. Not so fast, please.
For asking about meaning, what does blank mean? What do you mean by that? I'm not familiar with that word. Can you explain that? Can you give an example?
For checking understanding, you can say, so you mean, just to confirm, let me make sure I understand. So we're meeting at 6, right? Did you say Thursday or Tuesday?
For buying time, let me think. Give me a second. Just a moment. Hold on.
For describing words you don't know, you can say, what's the word for blank? How do you call blank? It's like a blank, but blank. It's a category that blank.
For confirming instructions, so first I do X, then Y? And after that, what's the deadline? Who should I send this to?
For expressing confusion, you can say, I'm confused. I'm not sure I understand. I'm lost. Can you explain that differently?
All of these phrases are simple, natural, and commonly used by native speakers too.
Write down your favorites and practice them until they feel natural.
As we wrap up, I want to share some final thoughts about this topic.
The most important thing to remember is that asking questions is not a sign of weakness.
It's actually a sign of strength, confidence, and good communication skills.
Native speakers ask what and sorry and can you repeat that dozens of times every day.
Because communication is messy and imperfect for everyone.
The goal isn't to understand everything perfectly all the time.
The goal is to stay engaged in the conversation and get the information you need.
Every time you ask for clarification instead of pretending you understood, you're practicing good communication.
And you're also learning. When you ask what a word means and someone explains it, that word is now part of your vocabulary.
When you ask someone to repeat something and you hear it a second time, your listening skills improve.
So these moments of confusion are actually learning opportunities.
Don't waste them by staying silent.
Another thing, be kind to yourself. Language learning is a journey, not a destination.
There will always be moments of confusion, even when you're advanced.
That's normal and human.
The more you practice asking questions, the easier and more natural it becomes.
Start small. Maybe today, just practice saying, sorry, can you repeat that? When you miss something.
Tomorrow, try, what does that mean when you hear a new word?
Build these habits gradually.
And remember, most people want to help you. They want communication to work.
When you ask a question, you're helping both yourself and the other person by making the conversation clearer.
We hope today's conversation gave you confidence and practical tools.
Use these phrases, practice these strategies, and don't be afraid to speak up when you're confused.
Your English will improve much faster when you actively participate in conversations, even when they're challenging.
Thank you so much for listening today.
If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and share it with other English learners.
We'd love to hear from you. Have you had an experience where you didn't understand something in English? What did you do?
Leave a comment and tell us your story.
And remember, confusion is normal. Questions are normal, and you're doing great.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep speaking.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.